Alright, hello everyone. It is go time for Change Stars Records of Miqto, Episode 4. I am, of course, Rendis. Welcome to Party Wipe Games. You are currently going to be watching a wonderful show done by the wonderful Change Stars team. Their current game is up on Kickstarter, where you can find it and help support them for this wonderful game that will be hopefully shipped out to all of the wonderful people who helped kickstart it very soon. As one of those many people who helped our dear friends over there get it started, I am looking forward to seeing the full release of the game. But right now, we are playing the current iteration of said game and have been loving it so far. So take the opportunity to check it out and play more for yourself through the links down in the chat, and if you're watching this at a later date on YouTube, in the description. We are more than happy to help get this game off the ground by giving everybody the opportunity to see how well it is and how fun it is to play it. So don't hesitate to check it out for yourself in the future. That being said, I don't have any other real announcements. I just like to mention that these are dear friends of ours. There are no other sponsors besides the wonderful Grinding Coffee Co. For all your grinding coffee needs, if you follow a link that will pop up in chat or in the description, there is a 10% discount code that you can use through our channel and our affiliate link. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to share, so I will bring us over to the rest of the group so that we can get started. Everyone can say hi. Here we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 I hope everyone's had a wonderful week.
It's going pretty good.
Excellent. Good to hear. Good to hear. Wonderful. I've already gotten through the introductions, any of our bookkeeping. If anybody here has any announcements they want to make, feel free to go ahead, and then we can get started with character introductions and jumping into the game.
I think I'm good. I'm still scrambling as the one putting this whole homebrew together, but I think I can manage.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
No announcements on my end, just the normal. I'm streaming here and on my channel. You know, a funny story if Shay wants more time.
Mm-hmm. Are you not ready to get going, hon?
I can manage. I'm just throwing some sheets out. I have enough to get started. It's so. I mean, if you want to tell a funny story, go ahead. I guess.
Tell us a funny story, Tootler.
I want to hear it.
Okay, so it was my nephew's birthday this weekend, so those of us in there we're having a party on Sunday. His grandpa on his mom's side, he was watching him and watching his friend who's just coming over for it. And he was giving them snacks like, "Hey guys, want some cucumbers?" And my nephew's friend said, "Oh yeah, can I have some mustard on mine though?" And his grandpa was actually like, "That's kind of weird, but okay, like, it's not gross." Like, no, I really like it. Like, okay. Then my nephew, who looks up at his grandpa and goes, "Poppy, don't yuck somebody else's yum." And his grandpa was just kind of stunned by that, because where the hell did he hear that? He's like, just like, you know what? You're right. I should not judge someone else's yum.
Nice, love it.
Yeah.
This is pretty great.
We're guessing he heard it from his mother by accident.
Gets it from his mom. Amazing story. Captain, how are you doing?
I'm doing reasonably well. Hi, I'm Captain Carrion, also known as John. I can be referred to as either around the internet, depending upon where you find me. If we need a little more time, I also have a story, albeit a slightly older one.
Give it to us.
All right. So, this is the tale of the best session I have ever run. It was a Fantasy Flight Star Wars game. I run one-shots of it here and there. I actually run a week. If any of you are in the greater Kansas City area and are interested in attending one of them, I occasionally run this exact scenario at Adventure Cafe KC in Lee Summit. Be found off Rice Road. Is run by my lovely friend JR. Also has a lot of generally lots of good food, really good drinks, and a very large board game selection if you like your board game cafes. And on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central Time, I run one. But this, so the tale of this adventure was Josh Mary. They managed to make it through an entire adventure that usually turns into a firefight pretty quick without ever firing a shot or succeeding at anything but deception and skullduggery checks. This is Star Wars, so he gets off the ship, talks to the info chat, someone's stolen a bunch of her information and screwed her over. Okay. So the contract is get the intel back and screw him over. And so he determines to do this. He needs to imitate a member of the Imperial Security Bureau. And, this is the height of the Empire that this adventure happens in. So essentially, he is imitating one of the German Gestapo. But he needs to get a uniform, and he heads down to a laundromat. Well, he actually fails his deception check there to go, yeah, I'm Officer so-and-so. He literally read the name off one of the uniforms that was in the bin. I need my uniform. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you just dropped it off this morning. We haven't had a chance to finish it yet. But because the system is a bimodal, he got enough advantages. He was like, well, I at least need to get my ID out of the pocket. And you know what? Yeah, the ID was in the pocket. So he retrieves this, Imperial Security Bureau officer's ID from the laundromat. He's like, okay, I'm going to need some goons. Goes down to the spaceport, flashes the badge without giving them enough time to look at the picture, and goes, you two, I need you to come with me. Urgent Imperial security business. No time to explain. And grabs these two random naval troopers who are on security duty, basically sitting there not knowing what the hell to do. So he goes down then to, the apartment building where the hacker / wannabe crime boss is, and just bluffs his way past the security going, Imperial Security Bureau, nobody move! And he's got he's got these two naval troopers to back him up, and of course, he just rolls fantastically on this the whole time. Bad guy is getting ready to try to escape out of the window. And it'll go easier for you if you stay still. I'm here to investigate rebel interference. And so he does. He's investigating around, and he has to roll a computer's check, which he fails spectacularly, because he's trying to make fake rebel interference. Actually dispose of the guy by throwing him at the ISB. All right, he needs to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And an excuse to take all of the other data codes. Well, this system has destiny points, which are a fantastic method of really letting the players have a good deal of influence over the game. And so he spends one of those and says, could I have him actually have some evidence of having colluded with the rebels instead of just planting my really badly made fake data card? He goes, like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. So there we go. And so he arrests this guy for colluding with the rebels while he is imitating an ISB officer, and I want to remind you, this guy's like a Corellian. Okay, think like off-brand Han Solo. That's what this character is. But he's flashing around an ISB badge and succeeding in all his deception checks. And so all of the thugs the bad guy hired to protect him, just like, we're not screwing with that. We like living. Not realizing that if they actually did screw with it, they'd probably win that fight. Doesn't matter. It's the ISB. Except not. And so then he gets back and he has, if he actually goes into the ISB post, he's gonna be caught. So he looks at the two guys and is like, I have to go on another mission, as he looks at his, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. To go on another mission, you take him in, hand this data card to the officer in charge. Tell them that, I think that I had, I had named the random officer that he assumed the identity of Ficdace, because I was having to improvise on the fly. Because this is the first time anyone has ever gone to a laundromat as priority one in acquiring information for their campaign in any game I've ever run. So Ficdace, so tell them that Officer Ficdace sent you with him. And so of course the two Tweedledee and Tweedledum go in to turn over this criminal who had at one time sold information to the rebels to the real Officer Ficdace. And by the time they realize what's going on, this Josh's character has already skedaddled. And so he comes in, and the thing is, he didn't have time to really sort through any of the data cards. He just knew there was lots of valuable information on them. And he says, all right, so it gets back to his info chats. All right, so here's all your information plus one from me. You'll be able to tell which one is mine because it's a piece of shit. And that was about the size of it. And I did it on stream, but the VOD didn't save, to my eternal sorrow, because it was a level of amazing that I don't think I'll ever get to run again.
Mm-hmm. It's always the worst when that happens.
Yeah. Really, I'm here having like one of those where some of my favorite sessions have actually been in this campaign that we're playing here today. So as a player, so it's nice, and I know where to find the VODs of these so I can show my friends.
Yeah. And when I stop being lazy, they'll actually end up on YouTube. So, any hoodle, how you doing, hun?
I'm good to go.
Good to go. Okay.
All right, bought enough time. Woohoo!
Yeah, bought enough time. Well, since we just left off with you, why don't you introduce your character, and then we'll go back to Dougler, and then me, and then Shay can take over.
All right. Today, I am playing Douglas Dog Crowley, the party's security specialist, aka the Jarhead.
Dougler?
Now it's me. Hey everybody, I am playing Bayer Thule, the pilot, a Threaten pilot.
And she do artwork now.
Yes, well, they do.
Shiny.
Excitement.
They also landed the shuttle perfectly last time, no matter what anyone says.
Yeah, definitely.
Over the
Listen, a good landing is any landing you can walk away from, so.
The chair's already collapsed.
Yeah. As the esteemed pilot Launchpad McQuack once said. Well, either way, I am playing Rindis Larucio, the chief scientist aboard the vessel and now part of our away team. She is absolutely thrilled to be here and to discover what species is presenting a civilized... Sorry, let me try that again. Whatever species here seems to be civilized enough to have established not only construction, but it looks like several villages and inhabited regions throughout this planet. So she is eager to make contact with the native life forms here. Yeah, in all the ways that entail for her job.
Yep.
Yep. All right, hun, take us away.
Hello, everybody. I am Shay, or Shay the Fae here on Twitch on Party Week Games. I am the Dreamweaver for this game of Records of Miqto, a Change Stars homebrew campaign that I am attempting to make into a book very slowly as I create assets one at a time. Doing it myself is a lot of work, but I basically spent my entire day doing that yesterday. On that note, we're gonna jump right into this game, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll give a quick recap. So the Trinity had picked up on a stellar system that had 2 planets within its habitable zone, at least for what their ideal form of life would be. And as it turns out, as they got closer and did more thorough scans, they discovered that not only was it habitable, but it and while the chances were good in their initial scans that it had life, it also turns out that there is intelligent life. And after exploring a derelict Mirai vessel, bartering with some pirates, the exploration team has finally made it to the planet in question. And upon touching down, one of their first discoveries was a tiny little alien flower. I wouldn't say tiny, but it's small. It would be category size small. That has very animated tendrils. And I'm curious, did you decide on a name for this particular critter that with the root system that drills into the earth, stone and earth? Little wiggly tendrils filled with seed pods.
Didn't you call it Fred?
I wrote it down. It was Gerald.
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 Oh, right.
Okay.
And who's Fred?
This flower.
Gerald H. Fred.
Gerald H. Fred.
Fred with a J.
And we'll pick up here with the scene kind of opening and this little flower kind of like wiggling its tendrils. Did you take any samples from it?
Yes.
Okay. It is eager to give you seeds.
Hew, hew, hew.
With your initial studies, you get the sense that. Also, go ahead and give me a quick resolve.
Resolve. Don't sheet. There it is. Resolve. Oh, also question. Does edge go down over time?
I know it goes away when you use your.
I just mean because I have
Right.
edge from sessions prior that would have been days ago in real or in game time.
I believe it does get reduced during downtime. I can't remember if it was like all of it or if there was like a formula.
I'm just gonna tick it down by 1 because I had 2. I recall gaining 1 last session, so I'll say enough time hasn't passed for that. But the first one was during that first mission, so I feel like enough time has passed
yeah.
for that to have gone
Yes.
down. And I'll look it up later and see what the actual thing is so that we can have the answer. All right, here we go. Okay. Wait, that's a success, so it's fine.
That is a success. And sure enough, you're picking up on like a very sweet scent, and you get the sense that this is meant to attract critters to it, and it's judging by its lack of mobility. This is probably how it reproduces by giving things that have mobility its seeds, so that they can drop them elsewhere.
Mm. Old age red blossom, yes. Thank you. I've now classified this for future studies.
Oh, and before I forget, as oh yeah, new token.
Oh yeah, new token.
As this is going on, what is Buyer and Dog doing?
Dog's just. He's almost certainly doing the security things. He's making sure that we have a reasonable perimeter around the shuttle, keeping an eye on people, keeping an eye on the horizon, making sure his security team are appropriately dispersed, and that nobody is wandering off alone.
All right, so you have some you have a couple more soldiers with you under your command. You know there are some that are going to have to stay back by the shuttle, but you have a couple. You have a drone, a synth, and three other soldiers. But they're going to go ahead and follow your directions. Go ahead and give me. Give me. I'm gonna say either scrutiny to look around the area and notice anything off, or I will say or or perhaps communicate to lead your team. Either or.
The scrutiny is ever so slightly better. Oh, okay. I mean, he was only ever a corporal, so...
That's still a fairly important leadership position. You're trusted above the rank and file.
All right, so this initial area certainly does look vacant, and as time passes, the various fauna that has previously fled the area from the sound of a noisy machine flying down through the atmosphere to land. Things have calmed down again. You can hear the sound of various strange creatures, whatever they may be, beginning to beginning to speak again.
Is that my boyfriend?
Your people have spread out to maintain the perimeter. And Buyer, what are you up to?
Buyer's going to look over the shuttle, make sure everything is working properly, in case they need to do a quick escape.
Cool. Give me a mechanics.
I'm not absolutely terrible at that anymore.
Ooh.
I managed to get one.
All right. So, as you're going over all the systems and hardware and machinery and everything, you get things all situated. You do have one of your CCUs available on board if you were so inclined to take it out with you. But everything seems to be accounted for. There is one thing else that you pick up on, as well as Douglas. Douglas, you notice it because you recognize the sound, and Buyer, you pick up on a techno signature of another very small vessel approaching yours.
Do I know what kind of small vehicle it is, or is it just the thing I recognize is coming?
What would you like to do to figure that out? Would you like to try and contact them? Would you like to try and run some scan?
I'd like to run some scans.
Give me an operation.
Operation. Alrighty. Boom.
You're having trouble. Or I guess I should ask, would you like to push?
I'm a bit insulted, so yes.
Okay. and roll me a d6.
6.
Oh boy.
I don't have the chart, so I don't know if that's very bad or not.
I have to find it again.
I'm kind of hoping that's the screaming one and it's just yelling at the computer for not behaving on the first check.
How dare you defy me?
I wish it was, but it's not.
It could be.
Could be.
I think it specifies.
I'll let you roll again. Roll another d6.
What?
Yep, you scream.
Yes. Stupid.
So
Fire uses litany of profanity. It makes the computer work.
Yep, as Buyer starts screaming at their trouble to try and discern what kind of vessel this is, the rest of you take an edge.
I just got rid of that edge.
Sorry.
It's fine. It really is.
'Tis the nature of the thing.
You don't recognize the make of the vessel. However, you do recognize it as a as like a small fighter, something that would be on a carrier. But it drops down nearby, and Dog, you see it as it comes down, and it sets down near, but not like right on top of you or anything, and then immediately takes off again and disappears.
Okay. You don't attempt atmospheric re-entry without a good reason, so if it's set down, that means something was dropped off or picked up, one way or the other.
I will say, however, Fire, with your 2 successes, you would recognize the signature as similar to what the pirates had.
Might have been one of Rudy's ships.
You think they are following us?
Well, they have an employer who's interested in the planets. Might be dropping something off for them.
We should be cautious. We have no reason to doubt their integrity, but they are still pirates.
Dog would nod.
And Dog, you do notice there is a pair of individuals approaching you in your group. They're not brandishing anything, they are just approaching.
Okay.
One of them is dancing as they approach.
Oh boy.
Skipping their heels.
Well, I have a feeling I might remember this one.
You've seen both of them. Both of them are 2 of them that left with either of your companions, one with Dr. LaRusso and the other with Bayer. The gentleman is wearing a filter mask as he approaches. The Thren just skips right on up. Hello, greetings. How are you all doing today?
We're doing quite good. How are you all doing?
Oh, I'm well. Not often I get to go planet side here.
Oh, let's bring you all down here.
Oh, well, they approach you, step right up, and they take one of your hands and say, I just needed to leave. I just needed to see my good friend again. Also, our captain has offered the 2 of us as at your service. So please feel free to use us at your disposal. As a thank you. Oh, and as a request, would like the doctor, not now of course, but perhaps in a few weeks, to look over her people again and make sure that they are following the correct regimen for gene therapy.
I was gonna look to the doctor and to the dog to see that.
I will make a note of that. It should not be a problem to make sure everybody has acclimated to their exposure to the environment and our interactions thus far.
Wonderful. Well, and they point over to the gentleman who you notice is armed. Doesn't have any weapons out or anything. Is just standing and waiting. It says, Thomas over there is a bit of a fighter, and I can't fight at all, but I'm here for entertainment if you need it.
Good to know.
And the one called Thomas will approach and give a nod to Rindis, and they glance around and they say, "So, who's in charge here?"
Depends on what you define as in charge.
On matters of security, that would be me. Otherwise, matters of the ship, nods toward Baya, and matters of the locals and xenobiology, nods to the doctor.
Great. You need my gun? You got it.
Alright.
Wonderful.
At present.
At present.
I'm sorry, I really urgently have to go to the bathroom. My gut's just. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Understandable. So what was that last thing?
Oh, he got stopped in what he was starting to say. So, Well, I suppose we should get started. There was a village not too far from our landing destination. Maybe we should head in that direction and see. I don't know why I'm using this accent. We should head in that direction and see what comes about it.
That sounds good to me. We'll probably leave someone here to keep an eye on the ship.
Oh, do you think the locals are nice? Do they like to party, or are they going to stick us up and eat us? Like in that one documentary. What do you humans call it? Star Wars. That's it.
I am hoping they will not be too hostile. It is detrimental to my work when they are.
And as you're talking, I would say either feel free to explore or give me a scrutiny if you'd like to notice anything.
Go screw that loot.
I shall also screw the loot.
2 successes for me.
Successes for you, none for buyer. Would either of you like
I'm too busy flirting.
Yeah, you're too busy flirting. Something else catches your eye, Dr. Indus, and probably because you're a little bit up on an incline here. While you were able to find you were able to find some flowers that embed themselves in rock, but there's something else out there that you notice, moving closer to where some of the trees are. And what you see this guy.
Oh, look at that little guy.
Yeah, it looks little from this distance. But it looks like a well-muscled, weird, antlered, long-necked critter there.
Yeah.
You also notice smaller ones.
And they're down by the river.
Down by the river.
I will document
Yeah,
them from afar because they are clearly herd animals, and the larger ones are probably protective of the smaller ones.
The smaller ones, you notice, are running about, frolicking and playing. They don't seem to be paying you much mind. But as you notice, it's a family of them. Go ahead and give me a. I would this be medicine?
What is it that you're looking for?
Just study it. Yes, it would.
Okay.
The art of science of biological creatures and their preservation.
Medicine it is. It's 2 successes with 1 edge.
Yep. Roll a d6.
It's a 2.
You. What kind of items are you carrying?
Yes.
Pick one.
What kind of items am I carrying? I probably have binoculars out to look at these guys.
As you're studying them, you drop the binoculars. Now, exploration binoculars are tough things, but it falls and clatters down several feet down here, down that little edge.
I dramatically go over the edge after my binoculars because I don't know the meaning of safety.
Cool. Give me a maneuver.
I'm a field scientist as well. I can be reckless. Yeah. Yep, I can be reckless.
Yep. You get down there. Roll me another d6.
There we go. 5.
You choke up, unable to speak. And this probably happens because one of them, the closest one to you, lifts his long neck and just stares in your direction. Doesn't do anything, just stares curiously.
Be fair, herbivores are terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So much more dangerous than carnivores.
You will fuck your day if you get in the way.
Sometimes you don't even have to be in the way. Like, look at moose.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
You go back to watching them. They're not quite sure what you are. They've never seen anything like you before. So they don't get the sense of something necessarily dangerous, but also not necessarily not dangerous.
I'm gonna just get low and not draw more attention than I need.
After several moments, the one kind of craning its neck towards you, you see a long tongue kind of like slip out of his mouth, and then it turns and moves over to a tree. And you see it stand on its hind legs and with weird opposable toes grab a branch, pull it down, and munches some leaves off. You also notice that these trees have like a gray bark.
I'm gonna just keep observing.
Okay. And you do. So I want to get too far without Captain Carrion. So, would we like to take an early break while we wait for our third member?
Sounds fine.
Sounds alright.
All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. So, I know it's really early for this break, but we're gonna go ahead and take a 5 to 10 minute break. We'll be back here and continue from where we left off shortly. That way, we'll have everybody here to do so, and don't leave anybody out.
Right. I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
All right. We were gonna start a short break, but if you're back, we don't need to.
Okay. Sorry about that. That was not foreseen.
All good.
It's all
No
right.
worries.
Basically, so never mind on the break then, but basically you saw, Dr. Rentis noticed a new critter that seems to be traveling as a herd or a family. As she was watching, dropped the binoculars over the little ledge, and then promptly went down after them, gaining the attention of the creatures, but none of them seemed to be making any hostile gestures, as she's not quite close. Yeah. Close-ish, but not on top,
Okay.
I would say.
I'm fucking around, but I haven't found out yet.
All right.
The fire is flirting with the dancer.
As you do.
Let's see.
The pirate left in your charge kind of settles over one of the cliff and is keeping an eye out. He's just watching. And I would say, Dog, you notice that he has pulled out his rifle just in case.
Yep. All right. Dog's people are formed up in screen. He's going to walk over to. His name was Thomas, yeah.
Yep.
And
He glances up when you call his name. Where'd you leave your people?
huh?
Where'd you leave your people?
He's leaving his people in a general screen. He would have another one of these security people who's not currently with the main body around the shuttle come down to the. Actually, need to keep maintaining that. Come down to this this rocky ridge as well. Is that going up or down from us to the dock?
It goes down.
Okay.
It's about a 5 to 7 drop. In
Okay.
Various places.
Okay. Here we go. Doc would ask him this. You know what those things are?
No, not yet, but I am hoping to find out with some study.
He gives a look over at Thomas and says, "You've been down here before?"
A couple times. Never made contact with anything, though.
Alright.
Just picked up a few samples and left.
Okay.
Boss has got bigger things going on, but just a couple preliminary checks
Alright.
Didn't want to set up on a place that had this much going on it.
Yeah. Not to mention the natives.
Haven't made contact with them either.
Yeah. Glad it's not my job to do the talking in those situations.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it to somewhere else. But
Mm-hmm.
as long as your doc down there is doing whatever she needs to do, you have my word, I'll keep her safe.
Alright. Wonderful.
As much of my word goes. One thing I'd appreciate. He kind of lowers his voice and gestures over to one of the soldiers that had gone down with you. Appreciate if you kept the Mirai a bit at a distance from me.
Roger that.
You also notice that he hasn't taken off the filter that he's been wearing.
Dog nods. Will do.
Nothing personal to your men.
I'd figured. Dog is making little connections in his head based on information we have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, his connection is that, from what the doc reported and from what we saw on security footage, that this is one of the big ones, right?
Potential.
Thomas is one of the big ones?
Big humans, he means.
Big humans, yeah.
Unmodified.
Yeah, the ones who didn't go and seek additional treatment from and my stutter is in full swing today. From Rindus.
That is correct. He did not. He's not one of the ones that Dr. Rindus had looked over.
And if I remember right, he had mentioned an incident in his youth regarding having essentially had to booking on out of there because he lost it and beat the ever-loving shit out of a Mirai. And we saw, big people on a Mirai ship just kind of going absolute ham in melee. I believe there is a connection here. Namely, a different response to Mirai anxiety pheromones, since they have been something of a focus in this campaign's lore.
Very studious for a soldier. But yes.
Well, he pays attention to what's going on around him. His job is to assess threats.
That's a fair point.
That is admittedly kind of the extent of his studiousness. If you asked him to explain why it was going on, he couldn't tell you, but he's drawn connections. It's one of those things where he's able to put the pieces of red string up, but he's not able to tell you what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly, John, the man behind the screen, has pretty much figured out exactly what's going on there, but
You do notice, I'd say, if you were to look back over your shoulder, there are some of the soldiers that you brought with you, at least the ones that can see, are keeping an eye out on him, as opposed to the big creatures that Dr. Rendis is inspecting.
At least. No, don't. This is one of those where it's It's one of those. I'm trying to figure out wording. Dogwood over his orders. Keep an eye for other angles of approach.
There's a moment. You notice that most of them go back immediately to watching other areas once the order is given, and the synth has not. The synth that has come down with you has not broken its concentration. This is a machine.
Yep. This is one of those. Is dog nods to Thomas because he imagines the man's noticed this too.
I would like someone to roll me a d6.
One d6, and the answer is 1.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, Dr. Rindus, as you're studying these creatures, you notice the two larger ones while this is going on. One of the smaller fawns, as they were, have begun to inch a little bit closer. Still unsure of what you are, and the larger ones are watching. But there's a moment where the two parents immediately, their heads snap in another direction, back across the river. And as they're waiting, the smaller ones haven't seemed to react, but the two of them seem to be looking or listening out for something suddenly.
She will put a hand up towards the others to signal that there is something amiss, to be on alert.
One inches closer again. Watches you. And then one of the parents immediately lets out a loud, belting call. That, and with their bodies and probably very strong lungs, that call is loud, and immediately all the little ones glance up and start prancing closer. And they start moving towards one of the trees here. And as this is happening, something else starts charging out of the forest. And it's a ways off, but it looks big and it looks hairy.
Which direction is it coming from? Okay. Well, I'm going to stay perfectly still while it is focused on bigger, meatier targets.
All right. So, I need to make. I'm gonna make a quick roll just to see if it catches in. So, immediately the larger ones began picking up, and you notice the way that their feet are designed. They've got like 3 main toes, that one with an opposing digit that they're able to lift them up, and they start putting the smaller ones into a tree to try and get them away.
They're eating their babies into the trees.
They are lifting their babies and putting them into the branches of the trees. They hop up on their hind legs, and once that's done, once that is done, this one has enough room to climb into that one. This one does not. And you notice this large creature immediately leap over the water, and it does not slow, and it keeps charging. This one does a giraffe swing of its head, and the two of them begin to scuffle. Doug, you notice that Thomas has lowered his rifle and has the gun trained. Does anybody do anything?
Dog's just maintaining aim on the predator. It's not his business to interfere, but if it decides to come for his crew, it is going to be a fine red mist.
Yeah, I am not moving, because if I move, then it will see that I am an easier target than the thing it is fighting. So I am staying perfectly still, because that is what my training has told me to do.
Give me...
Probably maneuver?
Yeah, maneuver's usually the one that was used for stealth.
Yeah, give me a maneuver. Hey, okay, you're good.
I start screaming. No.
I mean, roll a d6. Let's find out. You don't scream.
Oh, okay. I thought 6 was the scream. Okay.
Nope, one's the scream.
One's the scream.
Okay. I don't scream. Thank goodness.
You do lose your side action, but that's fine. You're staying completely still. It makes
I'm not
sense.
moving, so my side action is to stay still.
All right. So you are witness to a predator coming down. Would you like to give me another d6 as just to determine the outcome of this, because it does not notice you?
6.
Okay. The two adults here beat up on this thing enough that it slides back and gives a few hisses, bearing some fangs, but the two adults have like some scratches and stuff, but they both take up guarding positions in the trees. This thing eventually gives up and leaps back across the river and runs away. The meal was not worth it, or is not worth it.
At that point, Dog relaxes. The barrel on the rifle lowers. He assumes a more relaxed posture. His part of the operation is presently presently finished. Therefore, you can just wait.
But you now know that this planet has some fairly large and somewhat aggressive creatures on it as well.
Thank goodness. That would have been awful if it had turned its attention our way. I'm glad it is a smart creature that knows that it is not a fight it wants to make.
Yeah, we're kind of lucky. Want to come back up here, Doc?
Certainly. She'll do that.
You do notice that this little herd, this family, has been put on edge now, and with another glance towards in your direction. And while you don't seem to be doing anything hostile to it, they've been tolerating your presence. But they start moving their young along, nudging them to move on before anything else happens.
Maybe I can't really think of anything else the dog would be doing unless someone else does something, because first for the first law of military personnel, a marine at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by an outside force.
And I mean, Rindis is going to just observe the herd until they've wandered out of this dangerous area, which they probably will be making quick work of getting out of there.
And they do.
Yeah, she'll observe, and then she'll climb back up to rejoin the others and say, "Oh, what a good day for observation. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. We should continue on. Which way did we see the village at?"
Your assistant K says, "Oh, they were that direction," and points.
Very well. We shall head in that direction.
Yep. I think I'm gonna bring my TOS. No, CCU. That's what it is.
You're gonna take the CCU?
Yeah.
All right. What is dog? What is your dispersal of soldiers?
So, well, dog's gonna keep himself, Thomas, and one of the other organic marines in front. He's going to have his more singularly focused people bringing up the rear, and he's going to keep his Mirai trooper in the rear too, to keep him away, to establish minimum distance between him and Thomas. He's going to keep the sort of non-combatants in the middle.
Who, if anyone, are you going to leave at the ship?
We're going to leave. Actually, you know what? Let's leave this one and our Mirai to guard the ship at the moment. Dog mostly trusts Thomas, but isn't quite willing to leave him alone at the ship.
You show a great level of trust by keeping him close, where you know he won't get into trouble.
Yeah. Also, he's a name. Also, John's going to make the joke. He's a named character. He probably has a scarier stat block.
He can't die. He has a name.
I get attached to NPCs as soon as I name them.
Would you like to name the rest of them?
No,
because then we'll get attached to them when they die.
We're gonna leave at least one other person. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. One on the far left.
All right. The ward answer you leave behind. So the three of them will keep the ship protected. Assistant K will manage the field here.
Gerald will continue to fill the role of being cute.
All right. Your most singularly focused is probably the synth.
Yeah, so the synth goes in the back because I know that if I tell him to keep his eyes out for things that are going, to keep his, her, or their eyes out. What are our synth's pronouns?
Whatever they want it to be. What does this synth identify as?
That is an excellent question. That synth looks to me like a Chuck. So I'm going to say he, him.
All right, he, him from Chuck.
Chuck the synth. You have named him.
All right, he's named. Now he cannot die.
And he's a power boost.
My sense of humor is inane. But yes, so we're going to have Chuck in the back. God, I have a friend named Chuck who is. I'm gonna have to give him shit now. But yeah, so he's gonna be in the back because I know absolutely I can trust Chuck to keep his eyes out over the surrounding, well, singular, out of the surrounding area.
All right.
And not lose attention. Your rear guard can never lose attention. There's a lot of distractions in front of them, and there's a lot of important stuff to make sure bad doesn't happen behind. Also, Chuck doesn't have anything meaty that things might want to eat on him. So that's a bonus point.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the robot eater.
Except for the
Look, if we encounter any gray goo, Chuck is fucked. But we all are if we encounter gray goo.
Yeah, that's a risk we're willing to take. Chuck can go first.
Gray goo eats everything.
Look, if we encounter gray goo, the best plan is to scatter. So it probably won't get all of us.
Won't get me.
That or do what I did in that adventure Lee ran, which was basically just blow the reactor up at it and hope that your stat block is enough to make you not die. It was. We all survived.
Oh, good.
Wait, was this replicating gray goo or just a blob of gray goo?
It was self-replicating gray goo.
Oh, that whole planet's doomed.
No, that's why you blow the reactor.
It was on a space station. We blew the reactor at it. When by blew the reactor, I mean literally used a Labrys to pry off one of the protective panels and irradiated it until it died.
Gotcha.
Because that's one thing. You can't radiation shield something that small. And gamma radiation is really nasty to small-scale electronics.
On that note, so the marching order is Rindis and our Rindis and Rishi in the middle. Where's Bayer? Where's your? You said you had Thomas up front.
Yeah, Thomas up front with Dog. Probably what we probably got is, because we are moving through forested terrain, we probably have a somewhat open formation. You'd have Dog has been given directions. He would take point. He'd want Thomas roughly about here. He's going to want his various non-combatants clustered in the middle. There's Can you tell that I spend a lot of time around Vietnam vets? Yeah, basically, standard procedure for moving through a jungle that might be hostile because we're moving through forest.
You're moving through a. It's more of a plains area, but yes, there are trees.
Savannah. We're moving through savannah. Okay. In which case, roughly the same formation.
There is forested area around. It does get denser in some places, but this is You're out in the wilderness area right now. All right. Buyer, can you, are you able to control that, Dukler?
No.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay. On we go. So you all begin to trek through this open wilderness. There is a number of wildlife to see. The CCU does make a bit more noise than the rest of you, as it is a big clunky machine. But you have it, just in case. And as you're moving, someone roll me another d6.
Oh, I'll get this one. That is a 2.
I gotta get better at navigating this. Here it is.
VTTs can have a strict learning curve.
Yeah.
I'm still learning Foundry, and I've run a lot of shit on Foundry. Roll20's a little less insane, but only a little. And it suffers from a bit of like, if you know how Foundry's programmed, it's all pretty intuitive. The same is not necessarily true of Roll20. And especially for systems that aren't D20 based, Roll20 does have its gooberness. It's really built around, D&D, Pathfinder, anything else using the OSR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first things first. I would like everybody to give me an endurance roll, except for Buyer. Buyer, I want you to give me a maneuver roll using the... Yes.
It's been a while since Dog had to march. He spent a lot of time as a shipboard marine.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he still got a success. But
Yeah, you still pass. It's fine.
yeah, Rindus's recreational activities apparently keep her in pretty good shape.
She's in very good shape.
Yep.
Dwyer knows how to fucking move.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Oh, damn.
Sadly, I did not make this one.
Oh. Still very nice. Water, holy shit.
Ah, we've been duplicated.
Ah, we're gone now. No clone orgy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to kill your double.
Oh,
Wait.
yeah.
Does having to kill your orgy, does having to kill your double mean no clone orgy first?
What if you kill them in the orgy?
Wouldn't that just kind of be harshing the vibe, though?
Well,
Yeah.
that's why it's after.
Okay.
Vibe has thus run out of batteries at that point.
Okay. Just in one of the weirdest moments while we're getting set up.
Yeah.
Micro story time for me. I know
Just
the
one of those.
orgy coordinator for Johnson County, Missouri.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't go to them. I'm celibate. But, like, he's a great guy. Adore the fellow. And I have learned more about what goes into planning an orgy than I ever thought existed.
It's like scheduling a session of D&D.
Oh no, it puts it to shame because you're dealing with more people and you've got even more factors to worry about. Like you basically take the, veil list from a tabletop game. Now you add like 30 more pages and everyone fills it out and somebody has to file it. Somebody has to make sure people are grouped appropriately because you also have like the opposite of a veil list. Like I explicitly want to participate in this thing. And you've organized by room, finding venues. Oh my, it's intense. It's like some of the highest intensity event organization I've ever been familiar with.
So many spreadsheets.
Yeah, no, the guy, he was after work. He decided to stick around the place because his internet at home was out. So he showed me one of his spreadsheets. I was amazed. It's like more than has gone into the planning of every tabletop game I've ever done goes into the planning of a single orgy.
That's so neat. I love it.
I mean, he's a really cool guy to know, and I mean, he's just generally cheerful, fun, and great to be around. I miss working with him. He was also just one of the most brilliant cooks I've ever known.
Anywho, as we move.
As we move.
Yes.
As we move.
It happened! I knew it would.
Yeah, always. It's a requirement. Shame on you for not chiming in.
What happened?
Millennials and Gen X, and for that matter, a lot of boomers are like conditioned. If you hear do 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 do,
It's a phenomenon. You gotta.
you do, and it's not even like fully voluntary. Like you have to actively stop yourself most of the time.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to stop it because it triggers so many joy receptors.
Right. I learned it existed when I was in high school, and after that, I just.
So, in honor of meeting a dancing pirate singing phenomena.
Oh no.
And now it's going to be stuck in my head until sometime next month.
And it's that is because Rishi is singing phenomena.
I see.
Good. This is fine.
And Dog is doing everything he can not to hum along and failing. Like his resolve may be relatively strong. There is no world in which he does not have enough negative modifiers to fail that test.
You do notice that Thomas has not bothered resisting singing it. He kind of hums along. But as you move, you all come to a little bit of a more open area, finding a small stream, but more importantly, looks to be a well-traveled dirt path across the stream.
Dirt? Okay.
Oh, that'd probably lead us to the village faster.
In this field, there are a number of flowers that have begun to crop up as well, that have become a little more dense in areas.
How many of them are wiggling at us?
None are wiggling, but go ahead and give me a
I'll watch them carefully with some scrutiny.
scrutiny. Okay.
Dog is evidently not used to the idea of wiggling flowers.
Yeah, that was interesting.
2 successes.
You don't notice anything wiggling. Horrendous. You also don't notice anything wiggling. However, what you do notice is that some of the flowers in these patches, while it is a little slow, they do begin to cant, kind of like a plant adjusting to sunlight. But as they shift, some of these blossoms aim a little open a little towards where movement has been coming from. What you see are these little things.
They have vines.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely not concerned about those spines sticking out of there.
That looks pointy.
Quite pointy.
Insert plants versus zombies joke here.
I would be cautious as we approach. Spines on plants is usually a defense mechanism.
Oh. So, in response to hearing that, Dog would grab whatever, rock, stick, insert other piece of readily available, roughly throwable material, and throw it in the general vicinity of one of the plants.
Give me an endurance.
An endurance, okay.
Are you trying to hit the plant, or
No, trying to hit near the plant.
Okay, as you hit near the plant, when the thud hits nearby, this plant twitches, and there is a puff of air that you hear released as a couple of those spines fire on the rock.
Okay. Alright, let's try to path around those.
I see what seem the assessment is correct. We will have to move carefully.
Yeah, like bloody smart minds.
Danger needle plants.
Yep. That's a good working name.
Writes it down. Danger needle plants.
All right, let me name that.
That is one of my favorite things in this campaign, is that our names, even if they're kind of dumb, work and stick.
These are the placeholder names. She'll give them the appropriate scientific names later, but for right now, this is enough for us to know which plants not to fuck with.
Yeah, I mean it's just like what is it? All right, we've got No Go Nope the planet. It's a very descriptive name right there. We've got Danger Needle plants, and then we have Gerald. I guess we like Gerald.
Gerald is friend-shaped, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, I mean, no, friend-shaped things can get interesting names. The not friend-shaped things get descriptive names.
Exactly.
Friend-shaped things can have, because they are friend-shaped and and therefore not as dangerous as we know yet. They can be called interesting things. We could be creative about them. Danger needle plants are fucking scary, and everyone needs to know. If you hear danger needle plant, it means danger needle plant. If you look at a danger needle plant, you will know that is a danger needle plant.
Yep.
Yeah,
I wish the real world followed this naming convention. I'm
I
sorry,
mean-
coral snake. It doesn't look like coral. It looks red, black, and yellow. It's. But of course, it's also crazy dangerous. You know, no. It's red, black, yellow danger noodle. There we go.
I am gonna have to go like look up Latin words and just translate danger needle into.
I can do that right now. Hold on.
Okay.
Continue.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I lost my good Latin translator a long time ago. It went down. It was one that gave you like all the possible translations of the word and like the contexts you'd use them in. It was why I passed my Latin classes in high school.
Amazing.
I took Latin too, but I didn't enjoy it. But that was mostly because I did not jive with the teacher.
I loved my first 2 years. Then Miss Henry retired and her replacement was a twat. To Mrs. Henry, we missed you. You were amazing. If you ever hear this, she won't. I don't. She never tabletop gamed.
All right. So danger needle plant translates to Vanum S. periculo planta. And Rendis will be submitting this for scientific coding for everyone.
I'm looking at the effective translation of that, and just my experience with Latin going, the grammar's wrong.
Yeah, that's what happens when you use an online translator, though.
Yeah. there comes a point where it's like it's been a decade, and I still can't stop myself.
Anyway, you all are free to move, and as you see,
Another option. Sorry, Periculum acus planta.
So my favorite translation, I used periculoso merababacus.
That sounds cooler.
Let me bring that over into the Discord. Due to my internet issues, I'm not able to keep the stream loaded at the same time, so unfortunately someone else will have to send it to the chat. Also, it may have to do with the fact that I automatically pronounce Latin with what is apparently a Belgian accent. Don't ask me how. I've never heard someone from Belgium talk.
Apparently, you'd fit right in, though.
Yeah, apparently I speak German with a French accent.
Mm-hmm.
And I speak Spanish with a Russian accent? I don't know how! The only language I speak fluently is English!
Well, it would depend on how you learn it, who you learn it from.
The thing is that I learned it from I learned the Spanish from somebody, well, from several people, one of whom was from Spain, one of whom was from Mexico, and the others were just people who learned it in the United States. So I had this awkward hybridization of Castilian and Mexican Spanish. My German was taught by frankly, a dipshit who idealized everything about Eastern Germany. And my accent was largely learned, was like a result of the fact that my friends who were from Germany decided to teach me German better. Mind you, they're all from Eastern Germany. And everything that she said, they're like, wow, she is full of shit. Things are not, any kind of utopia over here. We'll not get into that the in-depth of that on stream. If anyone wants to ask me later, I'm on the Discord.
Well, as things are, everybody feel free to navigate your way through this field.
Sorry. I apologize for being highly distractible
Hey,
today.
no problem.
You're fine.
Navigating the way through the field. Okay, so danger needle plants are purple.
Yeah, please take the lead. Find us a safe route.
All right, we are going to be following old school D&D procedure. Before walking somewhere, we are throwing a rock. Rock at ping.
Ping again.
Ping.
There is a puff from this plant here.
Watching,
A couple needles shoot.
watching it, can I determine what that puff radius is to get an idea of how much of a berth we need to give?
Yeah, give me a medicine because you're studying a biological.
Yeah, I'm useful. So, 2 successes.
2 successes. It looks like it's about 10 to 15 feet. It gets a little inaccurate past 10 feet,
Okay.
but
so
can still reach a little bit past it.
I'll keep that relayed so that
Alright,
everybody
we're just-
keeps it in mind.
we're just going
Can
to
you
throw
throw
it
another
20
one?
feet just to make sure.
Sorry.
We're going to throw it 20 feet from that plant just to make sure.
You throw it 20 feet, and as you do, it does shift a bit in that direction. So something's causing the plant to react to it, but it doesn't shoot anything because the vibrations are a little bit further away.
All right, so let's see.
So at about 20 feet, it's watching but not reacting.
All right, so we're going to go over to that. That's that. All right.
Could you throw 2 rocks relatively right after each other to see how long it takes the plant to shoot again?
Ooh, what its
Sure.
reaction time actually is.
Yep. Rock.
You toss 2 at once. There's a puff as something else condenses and a few more needles are shot. It fires at the first one, does not have time to react to the second one.
Right, that'll be useful to know in the event that we have to go through. Next time we come down, I might want to see about securing some kind of defoliants. All right.
Stream as guests on this planet.
Let's see. So we've got. It can only respond to 1 threat at a time, even with a reasonably sized patch of flowers. And it can while it is able to detect things out to 20 feet, it only responds to things within 15 feet. So
I will also say that it only looks like that while there is a patch of flowers there, some of them look like they're budding, and not all of them have blossomed yet. So there is that as
okay.
You get the sense that that flora like this that actually discharges parts of itself in defense probably needs to create new flowers fairly frequently.
Alright, yeah, so we're going to skirt along until we're there. Yep. Single file. There we go. Following along, staying, 20 feet away from it. Right. Oh, wrong tool. Wrong tool. And we've got another patch of flowers. Oh dear.
Doesn't look like there's any that are actively needling right there. Oh, hang on.
That's 20 feet away. Oh shit, there's other colors of flowers. Those might be dangerous in different ways.
Oh no.
Oh, it is 20 feet. Okay.
Yeah. It's you have it set to the 4E/5E method of distance measure rather than the Pathfinder method, so it doesn't automatically factor in angles.
Gotcha.
So you have to click Alt if you want to get circles, or disable the grid.
That's fine. So you're far enough away from it. It does follow you, but it doesn't discharge.
Yep. All right. And we've just got other flowers there. Dog's gonna throw another rock about here just to make sure there's nothing he can't see.
The flowers there, while some of the purple ones do shift a little bit, nothing fires.
Okay.
It looks like some of those have not yet matured.
And the red ones aren't gonna like yeet grenades at us or something.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Out of an abundance of curiosity, just gonna throw a rock at one of the. You know what? I haven't done this yet. I'm just gonna throw a rock at one of the like actually trying to hit one of the immature purple flowers, and throw a rock trying to hit one of the red flowers.
Sure. Give me an endurance.
Endurance. Okay. By any chance, can I do this with ballistics? Seems similar to throwing a grenade.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like, all right, find a roughly grenade-sized and shaped rock, not hard to do, and just... I mean, all right, one rock number 1, and rock number 2.
And you're throwing it. You're trying
like
to hit
trying
it.
to actually hit an immature purple flower and just a red flower.
All right. Which ones are you aiming for? Go ahead.
One up here, one over here.
Okay. So you hit both sets of flowers. Those red ones kind of like shift as the rock hits it. Nothing happens. You hit. Are you adding damage with those extras, or you're just testing?
I don't know what to do with them. He's not like trying to damage the flower, but he's trying to hit it.
Okay. You hit it. There's ones that have been twitching. The little purple buds, they do get a little smushed, and there's just like a very slow curl as the plant's adjusting to having been hit and dislodged a bit, and starting to like aim upwards to go back to how it was before. But some of it breaks.
All right, good to know. When it gets hit, it doesn't go off like a grenade. All right, it's just let's see. Out of an abundance of caution, as Dog advances on this position, he is in fact going to clear the flowers so that none of them, any of them that look ready, even vague, like really budded, they've actually developed buds.
You're gonna prune them.
He's gonna prune them because we're gonna have to come back this way.
Okay. So you go ahead and uproot them, and you do so.
Look, in the 3 years between him retiring from the military and joining this expedition, he was basically a house husband with a part-time janitorial job.
Mm-hmm.
He did a lot of gardening. That is the only thing about botany that he understands is pruning and planting flowers. But he did a lot of yard work.
And
So he's just pulling out, his he has a knife, right? Yeah, he has a knife. So he's just going in like and you know what? He'd even be so kind as to just save them for the doc for Brindis to examine later.
yes,
I will
stuff it in
gladly
there.
keep them.
Yep.
And you're for the most part in the clear since everyone's following a trail. There is a fallen log that you can use to get across the stream there.
I feel like we may have to get creative to get our little our little power suit across.
Oh, how deep is the water? And how waterproof are these?
The ones you have, they've got some. They've got basic life support in it. So
I mean, yeah, if they're vacuum hardened, they can probably handle water.
yeah, it is vacuum hard. It's not the greatest as far as vacuum hard stuff goes because you still have glass. There are weak points, but yes, you can. It is vacuum hard, so you can trek through water if you want it.
Good, because I don't know if the log is wide enough nor sturdy enough to handle it.
Probably not. And you would notice that the needling flowers, Ericulum acusplanta, is following you, making the heaviest thuds.
Yeah.
Periculosum
erbaacus. Sorry, I had to fight. I'll fight that tendency in the future.
That's why I'm going last.
But anyone who is trekking across the log, go ahead and give me a maneuver. You're able to get across just fine.
God, it's been a long time since Dog's been in basic. You had to do that all the time in basic. Dog just barely did it.
Maneuver.
You get across. Oh no.
Oh no.
Our sensed friend.
So many deadly spines.
Would you like to give assistance with all your successes in helping your synth friend across?
Certainly.
Apologies, my gyroscope seems to be off on something that thin. This guy gets across just fine.
If the dancer has trouble getting... Okay, good. I was going to have to just laugh my ass off if the dancer has trouble crossing a log.
No, they prance across just fine. For you, go ahead and I guess also give me a maneuver as you're not going across the log, but you do have to wade through moving water.
That is 4
Easy
successes.
enough. Your machine's heavy enough. There are some aquatic creatures that swim away as you make your way through. But you all get to the other side, and you notice that there are no purple danger flowers on this side. At this point, you've been traveling for a while. You spent some time studying other creatures earlier. It is getting into the afternoon at this point. If you wanted to, you can press on to make it to this village and get there by daytime, like early evening. Or, if you were so inclined, if you wanted to take a break or rest, you may do so as well.
I'm fine with either option. Dog is following SOP per chat. So, Ryer, what would you like to do? Sean or wait?
When would be the better time to get there? Is my
Probably not good to engage an unknown species in the middle of or the onset of night when their sentries are being more cautious.
Okay, so we set up a camp and go in the morning.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So, as you all set up to take a break, take watch, you find a little spot off the beaten path in a safe, secluded area where you can take turns resting for a bit. Whether or not you take a full night's rest or continue to move on, at the crack of dawn or whenever you'd like. Who is it just our guards who are going to be taking watch?
Makes sense to me.
Alrighty.
That would be typical.
So go
Set
ahead.
up a watch rotation.
Yep. Go ahead and give me a scrutiny for yourself, and I will make a couple of my own.
I'm gonna push that.
Alright.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Roll me a d6.
It's a good thing I took ranks of scrutiny. You know what? I'm gonna level up next. More scrutiny.
More scrutiny.
I'm just gonna max out scrutiny after I can, because you know what? Between scrutiny and insight, there's nothing we use more. And if something happens during Dog's watch and one of the other people awake isn't able to catch it, there's a problem.
Well, we have a synthetic here, so they don't need sleep.
Man, Chuck doesn't actually have to sleep. Chuck's probably more observant than Dog. I'd make jokes about Dog's apparent, lack of scrutiny, meaning, maybe I should have made him a lieutenant.
Okay, Dog needs glasses.
Dog needs glasses and can't read a map. It becomes really obvious that I spent an enormous amount of time around Vietnam vets if you spent any amount of time around me. My uncle was a first lieutenant throughout the Vietnam War.
Interesting.
He basically told the sergeant to navigate for him because he knew the sergeant could do it. Awesome. He was a military brat, so he knew better than to think he knew shit as a lieutenant. Oh my god!
Oh, no. We're fucked.
You know what? There was an entire luau like 5 feet away. You know what? We missed it.
I forgot to add the edge on that one. So yes, as this is going on, and I feel like
guys, we found the natives.
Yeah.
We found the natives found us. They're still confused as to how they're standing right in front of us and not being seen.
Okay. I wish I had a campsite prepared for that. You know what?
Honestly. You're just... Alright, so what did the party miss? Find out next session when maybe they might pass a scrutiny check for once.
These guys.
Yep.
No dying, though.
No dying, that's hard. I laugh really hard enough that I cough up pieces of me. Not really. Just people make fun of me for it. My friends, mostly.
Alright, I'm just gonna use this map. Don't.
No, too late. We are.
Huh?
You said don't. I said too late.
Okay.
It's so English? I can do that. In theory. In practice, no, but in theory, yes.
Someone roll me a d6 to see what it is.
Roll 1d6. 1!
Of course it's a 1.
You have to stop getting to roll.
I have to roll the complicated one.
I love complications. That makes the story more interesting.
Yep. Alright. I have a sneaking suspicion that this means it's going to be time for me to look up exactly what I can do with full auto. Finally gonna get to shoot with something that's not my little stun gun.
Time for aggressive.
Either that, or we're going to encounter the natives, and and it's just gonna sit there looking with me going like, "No, John, we're not colonizers. We don't shoot the natives." It's like, yeah, I know that. I thought it was gonna be a predator.
You want a predators? This is how you get predators.
You can tell that Dog is used to being a shipboard marine. He's just not used to having to keep watch anywhere where there's anything, green, growing, or that's not coming at him with a gun. Oh yeah, he's looking for scope glints, the movement of things. He's listening out for that little sound of a safety being removed. You know what he's not listening for? Meow! Meow!
Danger kitties everywhere.
Yep, and then suddenly, big cat. Or in this case, whatever kind of weird fucking werewolf thing it was earlier. Admittedly, if that's a weird fucking werewolf thing, it's going to find out that we are not exactly soft. Oh, okay, some of us are soft targets, but most of us are not. Most of our crew are security people, plus
Fucked.
a few support personnel. Yeah, we're going to have to. I have a sneaking suspicion that at some point after these first couple of missions, Dog's going to just go up to Dr. Indus LaRuccio and go, and you're going to be carrying a stun gun and getting some firearms training.
Yeah, weapons training.
Somehow you only ever shoot fire in the ass. Nothing else. Just radon fires.
Grannies.
And that is why we use the stun gun.
Alright, got this guy. Man, I really wasn't ready for this. I'm sorry, everyone.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, it's a 3-hour stream. You usually end up hitting those moments of, oh, crap, on 3 hours. That's why a lot of people do 2 hours, because it's like, you know what, let's just do this next week. Yeah, sure. Yeah. 3 hours. God, that's Iron Manning it sometimes. It's tough.
I mean, we're at the 2-hour mark, so got enough time for a random encounter.
Yep, the random encounter with a, this is going to be interesting. I have no idea what's coming. All I know is I rolled a 1. I also know that Shay is not as predictable as, say, Steven or Jeff. Some of the people I usually play with. Or me, for that matter. No, you roll a 1. Yep, that's going to be whatever the biggest pain in the ass I can throw at you is. What's the biggest pain in the ass we can throw at you? Friendly people. What?
I mean, gritting friendly people naked could turn out well. Because Byers is definitely not wearing clothes.
Dog's in armor with a gun across his lap. Friendly people agreed to seeing him for the first time. Well, let's be honest. Are pre-industrial people going to recognize what he has as a weapon and what he's wearing as armor? That's an excellent question. So he holds it like a weapon. So if it's warriors finding them, they might go, maybe that's a weapon. But his armor isn't the kind of thing that you got that I mean, even if you don't actually have any idea what body armor looks like, it could easily. Oh no, God!
Oh, that didn't roll everything. Where's the rest?
Whatever it is, it's still sneakier than we are observant.
It's not even a thing. It's just a copy of what it is. We're doomed.
That's deeply concerning.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So you all are doing doing your rounds. Of course, you do two at a time at least. I imagine you're up with Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
The synth is in low power mode, recharging. Everybody else is resting and asleep. You do not notice, and it is strange. It is unnerving at how stealthy this thing is. And
Oh, it is the murder kitties.
yeah,
The
murder kitty
werewolf kitty ape thing. Whatever it is, it's scary.
Yeah. You all are everybody else is intense or whatever, wherever they need to be. But this thing's going to get the drop on you.
Yep.
Position yourself wherever you want to be. And
Probably about there.
Thomas will take the opposite side then.
Yep.
Now roll me a 1d2. Let's see who it goes for.
2!
2. You're lucky.
Yay.
But let's see how what
Oh.
happens. Stop it.
Here.
Rip Tommy.
Damn it, we like him.
One success.
Oh no, we know there's at least 2 what is it's now.
Oh no.
We know that, our characters have no fucking clue.
What is it and what it was?
What is it? And its clone.
His armor doesn't protect him.
Shit.
So there is a rush of movement, and you hear Thomas. You hear Thomas just shout, "Motherfucker, we're being attacked!"
And his dog goes, Action stations! Did my microphone peak on that? Sorry.
It did not, just loud.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I'm surprised. Man. Dude recommended me this by good recommendation.
And Thomas gets knocked over.
Rip
Ah,
Thomas.
shit. Well, the good news is he's knocked over. That means all I have to do is not shoot down.
Just don't hit. It'll be fine.
Also, he's probably underneath a thing that's bigger than him.
All right, I had to fix. And oh, sucks at biting though.
Yeah.
However, it is time for initiative.
Initiative. Yay. Rolling. 16. I rolled not
Nice.
rubbish at my initiative for once.
8. This ain't the first time Briar's operated a mech naked.
That is not surprising.
Yeah. First time it's not for fun.
And I'll just figure everything else out as I go. All right,
Okay. So,
Douglas, you're up first. You saw a sudden rush in the low light as something ran past. It is on the other side of the tent, and
Alright.
kind of currently on top of trying to eat someone.
oh, good. I think at this point it's safe to assume that he has, it's nighttime. He has the flashlight on the bayonet lugs of the rifle, and so he's just gonna level, aim. I think I can use my movement to aim, can't I? Get a bonus for that. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Man, I should have read up on that before. Combat actions. Side actions. So yeah, no, he's gonna aim on whatever the hell it is, which gives a +2. Okay. And so we're going to roll that, and he's just going to aim at the thing and go and just da 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 da. Motherfucker.
All right, let me just.
Well, at least he hits. And then, well, that... No. Royal 1d6 is not going to help. Thank you.
Okay. That was a 6?
Yep, that was a 6.
Alright, you lose your side action.
Okay. Well, that's not as big of a problem.
And while you hit it, this thing has a thick hide. It does take damage, though.
I have AP 5.
Oh, never mind. It takes full damage.
I don't think this thing is quite ready for modern. Let's see. So that weapon is damage 4. We're using that extra twist for damage, so that's 5 damage.
All right. Okay, 5 damage. This thing, that hurt.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, it's as smart as the other one was and buggers off before it, ends up a fine red mist.
Blood just splatter. It is Thomas's turn, and of course, I closed his sheet.
It's always when you close their sheet, they suddenly become relevant, isn't it?
However, he also hit. And gets through. So this thing jumped right on top of him, clawed him. It's having trouble biting him, and I imagine that's because he shoves his beat stick right into this thing's mouth as it tries to bite down. He does a little bit. He's going to spend it on more damage because he wants this thing off of him.
He's bashing stick.
That being said, it is its turn. It still has some pins, so... Wrong sheet. Also wrong. Close the things! I'm so good at this, everybody.
Oh, don't worry. It's like, oh no, it has been summoned forth because you closed the sheet. I only rolled a 1 on the random encounter table because you closed the sheet, Otherwise, I would have rolled like a 5 or a 6, and it would have been something else you didn't have the sheet open for, because that's how it works. It's the nature of GMing. It's always what you were not expecting. And you know what? Half the sessions I've run in recent years have had at least one professional at them. Somebody who either writes, like, for their living, writes tabletop games, or runs them for a living, and every single frickin' game, something that just you would not expect out of anyone happens.
Mm-hmm. Every time. It doesn't matter what it is.
It's like, all right, the moment that I put the thug sheet away because they ran away, nope, we're going to pursue them. Okay.
Are you sure? Yep. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So this thing has taken a significant amount of damage in a quick amount of time. But this time it does bite down. And its teeth hook into Thomas's armor, and it is going to try to start running with Thomas.
Ah, shit.
Oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I doubt it's made it 100 meters away yet, so,
7,
One quick divide by 3. I can't. Why? Why is this never behaving? Stop that.
That is its turn, though.
Okay, yeah.
Fire! You heard shouts and then gunshots.
Well, Fire's gonna leave the tent. So, 1, 2, 3. I have 8 movement. 4, 5. Does it cost anything to get in my CCU?
You will have to turn it on.
Gonna do that.
That will be your turn, though.
Okie doke.
Dr. Rindis.
I will poke my head out of the tent because that is all I can do to help.
All right. You see a large, fuzzy shadow starting to rush off with someone in its jaws.
Oh dear, that is not good. Yep, that's me.
Okay.
I don't even have a gun in my base equipment. That's all I do.
Synth activates. Starts coming out, looking for the danger.
I mean, I think by it's fair to say that Dog is tracking it with the flashlight.
Yeah.
Which-
So, as long as you're doing that, he's gonna go around the other way, and he's just gonna dash, and they drop low. So that's their turn. You're up again.
All right. So, Dog's he doesn't have a side action this turn, but he has one thing he is really fucking good at. Come on. There we go. And you know what? Because I absolutely want to wreck this thing shit, I am going to push. So that will be base damage of 4 plus 3 twists for damage. And I need to roll a d6.
Yep.
2.
You drop an item. You're currently just holding your gun.
I'd like to think that, the recoil shakes the flashlight off at this point.
That's fair. So the flashlight falls.
But
But
yeah,
you lay into this thing. That is a total of 5 damage.
that would be 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 7 damage, AP 5.
7. How much damage do each of the successes do?
So they each twist for each damage twist, I think, adds 1 damage.
So that would be 4, 5.
4, 5, so 6, 7. Yeah, that would be 7 total, I think.
I'm counting 6.
Because there's 1 success base, that gets the attack, and then there's the 1, 2, 3. On top of, so you have the base of the 4.
Where's the 3 though?
The 3rd, well, I pushed.
Oh, right. Yes, you did.
So the first
Yes,
first
you are
one
correct. The 7.
just hits, and then the other 2.
And as this thing is running, you chonk directly into its health. I'm gonna roll a d6 now first.
Yay! Got a
It
1.
dies.
It's just
It's running. It did not. It doesn't even know what's happening. There's just loud noises and something is biting it a lot.
something is fighting it a lot, sustainedly and without letting up. I think at this point, Dog he'd pick up the flashlight, put it back on the bayonet lugs, and now he is going over to retrieve. He's going to retrieve Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes, he's going.
Yeah, Thomas kind of stands up. It looks like his gear is a bit torn into. There's a little bit of blood. Surprisingly, he hasn't taken as much damage. It was just getting knocked onto his ass and and the teeth biting down. There's bruises and scrapes on him, but the injuries appear mild. And he kind of like extricates himself from underneath this thing, kicks it in the side.
Got a sample for you, Doc.
Wonderful. It is unfortunate what happened, but good to see that we were able to deal with this problem.
Thomas, get checked. Don't know if that thing's venomous or something. I have switched accents again.
I did that earlier. It's okay.
Since Fire's in the mech and they can lift, they're just gonna go.
Rindis will take Thomas back to her room or her tent. And he'll...
Yeah, there he does pull out. You do notice that he does pull out a knife before he's given the order, and it looks like he's about to carve into this thing, but stops. And as he approaches, he'll follow the doctor. Flips the knife around, holds it handle first towards Douglas. Your kill.
Dog he's got his dog has his own. It's gonna be like his dog has his own knife. In this case, this one where it's I'll let the dog take it apart. She'll figure out more than I do.
Well, I think he was offering you a trophy, however.
I don't generally collect trophies.
Suit yourself. Tucks the knife away. He nods to Dr. Indus. Doc.
Come on, let's get you looked at. I'm gonna do a medicine roll to patch him up.
Patch him up, you do. He only took. He didn't take any damage directly to his health. It was just the endurance. But as you're sitting there treating him, he's very kind of he keeps his calm. He's not like super stir crazy or anything. But as he's sitting there, he's like, "So, does this mean I get to stay in your tent the rest of the night?"
Silumon, you can stay.
Kind of smiles at that.
Oh, right. You were so brave.
He eagerly takes off his armor for you to give him a proper examination. With those events past, I would like one more scrutiny check.
One more scrutiny check.
Yep, I'm distracted. Sorry.
It's just... There's no way in hell dog is sleeping after that.
Why not?
He's used to dealing with threats that shoot at him, not threats that are critters.
That thing was animal. It was just there to grab something and go. It just couldn't go fast enough.
Nope. Don't mess with Don't mess with sapiens. They have things that can be pointy from long distance.
Oh no, these have teeth too.
How does such small thing have such big teeth? Daka.
All right, so you're just choking up and unable to speak, and I think that's because in the distance, Douglas, as you're very vigilant now, you notice there are little blips of light in the distance. And as you watch, they move and shift. They're a ways off, but looking around, a lot of these lights appear to be in the direction of where that village was that you all were heading towards.
Well, the gunfire definitely told them where we were.
Yeah.
uh,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
we don't
Should
have a
be
prime
okay.
directive, do we?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're good in that regard.
As you were watching, though, too, you're probably going to stay out the rest of the night, I imagine.
Oh yeah, no, he's It's been a while since he's been ambushed.
Right. So, as you're watching, and you're keeping an eye on these like little flickers of light. You do notice that over time, some of them do get a little closer. Give me an insight.
All right, something else I'll need to put points in.
You're
Alright.
fine so far.
Okay, you're focused. You are on task at the moment, and as you're watching them, you notice that they appear to be communicating to each other. When there's one that lights up, there's another that'll light up somewhere else. You, as a soldier, recognize when lights are being used to light or even sound when it's being used to communicate across distances. And there's like a pattern to the flickers. There'll be a flash of red and blue before it fades, and then an answer to that will be like a light blue or a light blue.
Okay. He's taking note of this. He's not exactly qualified to interpret that, but he is definitely taking note of this.
Yeah, you recognize a pattern. What that pattern is, you don't know.
Yeah, though that's for somebody in cryptography. That's for somebody who's probably on the ship, or Dr. Rindis maybe knows.
Now, I guess because of this, I'll roll a d6. Okay, so there is you notice that the lights do approach. They're apparently stirred from the sound, but while they come in the direction of where y'all are, they pause, and there's a moment where the flashes all turn to cooler colors, and they all begin to recede and vanish, returning the way they came.
I gotta get some binoculars.
Could have borrowed Rindis's.
Rindis is busy.
Yeah, that's fair.
In both meanings of the term.
Yeah.
Nah, go in and ask. It's fine.
I'm extra busy then.
Someone has to keep watch. Might as well be the guy who's still mourning his wife.
It's okay, you got Chuck there with you.
You do got Chuck.
Yep, got Chuck. You know, Probably having a conversation with Chuck. One of those conversations that consists of, one word going back and forth every couple minutes and the occasional grunt. The kind of thing that you only understand if you've ever had to keep watch.
Basically. The rest of the evening goes on without incident. You have a quote-unquote sample. Don't know how you're going to transport it, though. It's a little big. I mean, you got a machine. I guess you could carry it.
Gonna get in trouble for it being dirty.
You get the sense that Stella's just a technophile. She's gonna be like that.
Yep. They're like, okay, I'll bend over the punishment.
And I feel like, kind of looking at our time before diving in, I'll give a little bit of a closing scene. But morning comes around, you all pack up and get ready and start moving out at first light. As you approach the direction of that village, we'll do a quick intro, I think. I do have a question, though. How do you all approach this village?
Slowly and carefully.
This is not Dog's field of expertise. Dog does not know things about first contact. Dog is the one who carries the boomstick.
Slowly, cautiously, in a non-threatening manner. Weapons are not held aggressively, but we are not approaching with our weapons concealed either. We are showing that we are a threat not to be fucked with, but we are not here to fuck around.
Fire is following the dog's lead.
She probably translates that a little more elegantly to the security force. It's like your presence should be known but non-hostile.
I'm just... sorry, monosyllabic response of
Are you taking the dead creature with you, and do you give it a name?
Do we need to?
You.
I don't think
all
so.
right, if we're gonna name it something, I vote for Damn Thing. Little callback. If anyone's familiar with the Fuzzies novels, callback.
No, sorry. We could
Good novels.
We could call it the Was-Its, because it was titled as just What Is It, so it's the Was-Its.
The What's-Its?
The Was-Its Danger Pause.
That works for me.
All right.
What's-Its Danger Pause? There we go.
Well, that's our brief in the field categorization of this particular species. What's its danger pause?
All right. We have to name the specific one. It would be Holy.
Yeah. Holy what's its?
The Holy What's-Its. What? No. That. There's an E in that Holy. We're not blessing the thing. It just stood downrange for too long.
It's full of holes. It's holy.
Yeah. You know, it's holy like Swiss cheese, not like not like ground or cows. Holy cow, holy ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not whole like, milk is either. It's holy. It's missing parts.
All right, you are approaching fully visible.
Can't see shit.
Sorry, one moment. I will turn the sun on.
Here comes the sun.
I think that's another one of those things that we just have to call and response for. Admittedly, that was because it played basically roughly every hour while I worked at Burger King.
Hmm.
Uh,
Wait a minute, these guys shouldn't be here. All right, so sun.
We can see.
So before even reaching the village, you, especially having a CCU, it does make some noise. So they are able to gather sight of you before you fall upon the village itself, and there is the sound of a I was gonna say a horn, but I think I like drum better.
The mighty conch.
Yeah. There's I'll say horn for this one. There is the sound of horn being blown, and there is immediately movement within as well, and you catch sight of some of these creatures fleeing across out of the buildings on one side of the river across to the other, and you will notice that first they seem to have a relatively similar build to Thren and humans, in the fact that they have equilateral limbs. However, unlike both, they actually have long tails. There's also they all seem to have sails running along their backs at various points. You don't get close enough to study it so much, but you do notice that these sails, and Douglas, you would recognize what had happened the prior night, that those sails are lighting up, flickering different colors. There is some vocalization from them in a language you don't understand. But a moment later, there's a small group that comes out, decked out in what appears to be a primitive form of armor, all carrying spears.
Ah, the locals have come to greet us.
And sorry.
No, it's fine.
You would notice that their sails are all a bright red. And go on, continue. I'm sorry.
It would seem the locals have come out to greet us. Remember our politeness and do not accidentally open fire or cause an incident.
Understood.
Feel free to move about as you please. They don't seem to be approaching you just yet. They are watching cautiously. Do you wait or do you move?
I feel like, since we're going into their territory, we should wait. We will stay at a respectful perimeter of their village and not enter, because they have not given us permission to do so.
Right, so as you're waiting and they recognize that you're waiting, you see two of these soldier lights start crawling along the side of this bridge, and it looks like this bridge has been woven by something, but they hang out there on the side, still have resting their spears in the weave and watching you as another one begins to approach across the middle of this bridge. And she stops several paces away, and as she does, you see the sail still red, does flicker to a violet and then a soft blue for a moment before turning red again. And as it does that, you hear "Atashingite."
I don't recognize this language, so
It is not in your translators.
it is not. Is there... I feel like she is going to try to pantomime or make gestures to show that they come in peace and are not hostile.
Okay.
Pantomime might be the correct word, but she's still just going to make gestures to show that they're not here for a fight.
Give me a communicate.
And I'm going to go ahead and say Charmer should apply, because there's only one of them out here talking to us.
That's fair. The others are watching from a distance, keeping their arms ready.
Oh, fantastic!
Wow.
I bend over and show her my ass. I'm going to push.
Oh no! I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the push to come through.
Just approach and slap her in the face. There we go. Okay. Okay.
That's a little better.
I was just gonna have like a dart get flung and hit someone randomly.
Just dart hit Rindus right in the neck. Goes down. Like, you've insulted my family, my ancestors, and my tribe. You die now.
The alternative is that things go way too well, and we have to start convincing them that we are not, in fact, things.
Okay, so you are new and strange, and this one that has come out to try and figure out what these weird creatures are doing here. Her eyes flick from the humans to the brightly haired doctor to the red dancing Thren, who's probably in the back dancing since Rindus is the one communicating. And then to the big machine carrying a large carcass.
We offer as a gift. That was the Great Protector. Kill him.
Our guardian is dead.
That was a dick.
Your
Guardian
guardian was a dick. It tried to eat one of our people. Daka, 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 daka.
We are your guardians now, by right of secession.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyone who wants to give an insight, go ahead and give an insight.
Like
Sure.
I need to insight.
We're gonna see what Dog can do with this. he does pass. He has a vague sense of things that are going
Oh,
on.
dude.
I need a D6, right?
Yes, you do.
5.
So, you choke up and fall silent for a minute as you're studying them. Which I guess can make sense. You just discovered a sapient species,
Yeah.
primitive as they are. It's exciting. But you're focused on watching them, as are the rest of you. You see the red flicker to a violet again. And then you start to notice that the fan starts to relax a bit. The posture does as well. She hasn't put away her spear either. But she seems to be relaxing, if a bit unsure and confused. But you've communicated enough that not only do you come in peace, but she also probably doesn't want to start a fight with the weird creature, the weird metal creature carrying the large furry one.
With lots of bolts.
Yay.
Ironically, the thing that is most dangerous is not the weird metal creature, but they don't need to know that yet.
I'm intimidating.
They haven't been introduced to guns yet.
No, let's hope they never are.
Will be an important lesson.
But this is odd, and she points with the spear back towards the CCU holding the big creature, and then points to Dr. Rendis again, who seems to be the one communicating for the group. And you see the red turn to a soft violet, and she speaks again. Nachine?
I'm gonna just do my best to understand what that means. And gesture towards it like it's a gift.
Give me one more communicate. And with your insight, you would pick up that she's likely looking to you for answers and is probably considering you either their leader of this group or spokesperson at the very least.
I'm still trying to get a positive response from them, so more from Charmer. Yeah. Fantastic. Sure, this is.
You trip and fall.
Ah, yes. This here is a boom, face into the mud.
Yep. Thomas comes up and helps you up. But there's a little bit of relaxing, and you see her glance back over her shoulder, and the two kind of clinging to the bridge flicker twice with a violet color, and you see her sail kind of flicker to a soft blue and then relax again. And there's a positive gesture as she steps to the side and does a sweep of her spear towards the village, and then turns and starts back, glancing over her shoulder again, as if to see if you were following.
Well, I think that was an invitation. I could have done better, but at least we are not being chased around with thrown spears.
True.
She'll go first because it doesn't look like it's dangerous.
Dog will remain close at hand. Because if anything dangerous does happen, boomstick.
So as you follow them across, the two hanging into the side of the bridge by their claws, wait until everybody passes before following after. Everybody else makes their way up as well.
Does the bridge seem straight enough for the CCS?
It's interesting. This bridge appears to be made out of a combination of wood, metal, and not quite fabric, but something woven, very thick.
Okay.
Also like those fancy wicker bridges you get some places. Okay.
And judging by their physiology, it's probably designed this way so that they can easily scale it.
Okay.
I'll just move everyone over, but you do hesitate a little bit on it. And while this bridge does dip a significant amount, carrying this creature across, does not break. But go ahead and give me a maneuver just in case. Maybe it does break. Let's find out.
Now I'm worried.
Oh no.
You're fine, but give me a d6.
6.
You lose your side action. You're going very slowly.
Nice, so I'm not sure if going too fast will break it.
Yep. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move you all. So you all make it into this village proper. Across this river. The other two soldiers continue to cling to the bridge, just watching, observing. You notice there is one in a tower off to the side who is watching curiously. A group of these creatures, some of them not in armor, are holding various, what you can guess as being tools of some kind, prepared to defend their home. But the one that was speaking earlier addresses them and says something, her sail flashing to a soft blue again. And you notice that there is a flicker of blue in response to the rest of them who are standing here and relaxing. But you would also notice that they are mammalian, and you, Doctor, would recognize this because they they all have memories and are not all entirely dressed completely.
Yeah.
Hmm. How should we go about this?
Well, should we present this guy? The what's it, Danger Paw?
Yes, I think that might be a good start. She's gonna gesture to the what's it danger paw and make a motion of laying it out in front of them like it's a gift.
Fire will do that. It actually like do it slowly, not just a drop.
As you step forward, you notice all of them back up. Go ahead and one more communicate from Rendis. Take a +1 from
Plus one. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Need to go relieve some of this stress, y'all.
You lose your side action.
Oh no.
Well, I'm sure Thomas would be more than happy to help with that.
So
Got a
one
whole
of them-
village now.
Yeah, one of them goes up very cautiously, is kind of hesitant to approach the large machine.
Fire will step back a bit. It's
When
like,
you-
this be less threatening.
And when you do that, they approach and they kneel down. This thing riddled with holes and everything, and glance up. But they look around. There's another shout and a flicker of their sails as Rendis, you pick up that you and Douglas, especially Douglas, having been observing them before, and you being a xenobiologist, they're communicating by a combination of verbal speech and light signals.
Interesting.
Fun.
But
Probably means I'm gonna have to
there's
get different colors.
there's a moment before some of them start moving forward again, and there's a little more excitement now as they begin. Several of them move forward and start to take out tools or take out the tools they were using, and there's shouts and commands going around as they appear like they're going to begin harvesting this thing and dragging it off. A couple of the others that get left behind, one runs off, and there's the opening of doors as they're going door to door shouting and giving off light flickers. And little by little, as excitement kind of builds up a little bit, this is strange people who have come up to them. Begin taking a much more active interest in what you are. You see, like, heads curiously poking out and observing everyone. Some a little more bold than others, but some of the doors open. And when I say doors, they're not all like doors, but it looks like sliding panels that are used to block out light. In this little village here, you also notice that there are like little awnings in front of every entrance to create an overshadowed point. But as you have just made first contact, we're gonna call it here. everybody. That has been our fourth episode?
Third.
Fourth.
Fourth. Yeah, the first one, my illness caught up with me and I fell asleep in the middle of.
Yeah. 4 episodes in. Good job, everybody.
It was
Yay!
fun.
Good job.
Thank you all for watching, and thank you again for the Diesel Shot crew, and Change Stars Writing Cast for stopping by to watch the game and giving us the shout outs. You can check them out over on their Kickstarter. Just look up Change Stars. It's the one with all the cool artwork on it and sci-fi themes. Other than that, I have been Rindis playing Dr. Rindis Ruscio, the chief scientist of the group. And hey, she's got a whole group of people to study now. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Dugler to give their outros, and then Captain can follow up and Shay can wrap us up.
Hey everyone, I am Douglas. I was playing by the pilot. I'll be back here tomorrow for Brentwood Bay. And you can also find me from my channel at Douglas93 twitch.tv. Or no, wait, twitch.tv/Douglas93 for hours of video games and whatever else may happen. So over to you, Captain.
Hey, I'm Captain Carrion, also known as John. I was playing Douglas Dog Crowley tonight. You can catch me here Wednesdays at 3:30 Central Time, as well as now I will, starting next week, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, be on twitch.tv/Steam Steel Murder in a werewolf game, 20th anniversary specifically. And you can also catch me every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Sorry, 6 p.m. Central Time at Adventure Cafe in Lee Summit, running open table one-shots if you ever want to play in one of my games and you're in the greater Kansas City area.
Ooh.
That'll be it for me. Over to over to you, Shay.
Hello everybody, I'm Shay, or Shay the Fae here on Twitch and part of Party White Games. I have been the Dreamweaver for this game here of Change Stars, Records of Miqto. The progress is being made. Oh my gosh, kind of putting this together is a lot of work. I'm sorry. Yes, a lot of work. That being said, I'm having fun running this. It's exciting and interesting, especially adding an entire new race of creatures and adjusting them to be more balanced as I learn how to balance things as I play this. But yes, thank you everybody. You can find me here on Party Wave Games channel pretty much any day that they are playing. That's it for me.
All right. Well, wonderful. This has been a great game, and we are going to head out because dinner was made for us a couple hours ago, so I'm curious to see how it actually turned out because I'm starving. So y'all have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow for Brindle